Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining Candid Media every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button and share with friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Today, I'll be joined by Mayur Kalbag. So I'm just waiting for him to. Uh, I've given him the link. So I'm just waiting for him to join. So today we will be discussing, uh, a topic that we've discussed earlier also, which has so many dimensions. It's about black magic and its effects. Though we are in the modern world, people continue to resort to black magic to change their faith and also the faiths of others. So Mayur will be joining us within a few seconds. So let me welcome you. Welcome, Umma. Welcome, Metal. Good evening, Zoya. Welcome, G1. Welcome, Namaste, Matrubhumi. Welcome, Radhika. Good morning, AN. Evening, Abha. Welcome, Nisha. Welcome, AN. Welcome, Himani. Good evening, Sukanya. It's so nice to see you from all parts of the world. For some, it's evening, and for some, it's night, and for some, it's morning. So it's a pleasure to be interacting with you. So just give me a second. Let me just check with Mayur. I think you should be joining within a few seconds. Yeah. Let me just add him.
Hello.
Welcome. Mayur.
Hi. Sorry, I was just trying to get my camera on. It went to the laptop camera. So anyway, how are you?
Is Mayur clear for you, audio-wise?
Yes, it's
Can you just
perfectly
tell
fine.
me?
What about? Yes, you can hear me.
Yeah, I'm just asking the friend. You're a little, weak for me. Let me just check with the friends. Yeah, lot of people joining. I'm just waiting for Mayurji. Please do
Hello.
a little
You can
loud.
hear
Your
me.
voice,
You can
okay?
see me.
So your voice is a little soft.
Is
That's
it
what I
okay?
thought.
Yeah, that's because my voice is been affected by the cough.
Your voice?
It has been affected by the cough. I've been
Okay, okay.
coughing pretty bad, but now it's back. You can. So
Now
my
they're
voice
saying
is
they can
good.
hear you well.
They can hear me, right? They can hear me now.
They're saying they're sounding a bit soft.
Well, I'm a
And
very
Mr. Shur,
soft
weekend I
voiced
was waiting for
person.
the one and only channel live. And
Because here everything is cool. I
you
just
had
want to.
your earphones? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yeah, but see, for me it's soft. I don't know if it's okay for the others. Yeah, now they're
Uh,
saying it's okay.
okay.
Soft.
This is okay.
Okay, just put your mic
Okay, because
near
I,
you,
I.
they say.
All right. Well, it is. Let me check the volume.
Yeah, very soft.
One one second. Huh? I wish I could have done a real time with you next time.
Yeah,
It's
now it's okay. Okay. It's okay, Mayur.
okay.
Yeah,
All right. All
yeah.
right. All right. Great.
So there are lots of people who've joined us. And thank you, friends, for joining us in such large numbers. And also, Mayur, we go back to the topic that we've been discussing in some of the earlier sessions as well. We're talking about black magic. And yeah, so it seems like, earlier, Mayur, in Bollywood, see, whenever the movies used to sort of flop, they would resort to black magic. So let me just tell you one instance, okay? It was some years ago when Bollywood actors Ranbir and Katrina were dating, and they had moved into their love nest in Bandra. They were rumored to have conducted a spiritual cleansing of the place, and both actors had had a string of flops. He had a big budget Bombay Velvet, and then Tamasha, and she had the unforgettable Bar Bar Deko.
Mm-hmm.
Their collaboration, Jago Jasus, was at that time taking forever to get made. That's when the couple said to have sought a little otherworldly help. They hired a healer who told them that a jealous friend had cursed the house and the couple, which left both their careers in the doldrums. The healer advised them to organize a cleanse, and they apparently took it a step further by putting crystals and other positive vibe objects all over the house. And soon they had also split the partnership as well. So,
Okay.
Bayo, see, this is something that Mahesh Bhatt keeps harping back in time and now, that, see, Bollywood people are so insecure
Hmm.
that about their looks and their youth and all that, and they're constantly resorting to black magic. And it's not only film stars; it's also normal people who feel the need for some extra power to add some punch to their life. So
Hmm.
yeah, back to you, May. So what are your thoughts?
Okay. Somebody, Metal Films official says Mayur's voice is sounding a bit soft today. Maybe I need to add a little metal to my voice. But this is better, no? I think this is
Yeah, now
better. I
they're
hope.
saying, yeah, it's clear.
Yeah, yeah. I just needed to get all the black magic out of around, and then all the white magic inside.
Yeah,
Okay, let me start, if you don't mind, today. Let me start with
yeah, please. Yeah, yeah,
a
please.
Sanskrit shloka as a way to, because the subject is about the magic of things. So let me create the magic of vibrations if I can. And this is a way of also welcoming all my lovely friends, and a lot of them who probably are seeing me for the first time. Om Jagrat Bodha Sudha Mayukhani Chayahi Aplavya Sarvadhisho Yasya Kapi Kala Kalankarahita Shatchakramakramati Dainadhvanta Vidaranaika Chatura Vacham Parantanvati Sanit Bhuvaneshwari Viharatam Hansiva Manase Om Shanti 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 Om Namah Parvati Pate Har Har Mahadev.
Har Har Mahadev.
Okay, so Meena, I have to say personally to you and to all the people who are part of this beautiful interaction. That's just, I had somebody who said to me after reading the book and after watching my bare biceps as well, that she said she heard me say Har Har Mahadev, and she now says it that way. She says, I feel so positive, because earlier she used to say it as a mechanical thing, Har Har Mahadev. Now
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
Har Har Mahadev.
yeah.
And when I went to Varanasi just a few weeks ago, and when you meet the people there, you'll be surprised. The way they say it is like that. They say Har Har Mahadev. And that's why they're lovely people. I mean, I went on the streets, and I was walking on many of the ghats. Um, they're very excited and exuberant, spiritually speaking. I think the Har Har Mahadev is the way I want to start this session. So to come to what you talked about in terms of another dimension to black magic, because we talked about this before, and maybe we can go deeper and wider. I
Yeah,
remember a couple
and
of
also I
instances.
think we
Yeah.
can also involve the audience as well. So in case you also
Yes.
want to ask something, we can give you the open the lines later after our discussions.
Yes, and yeah, that'll be fun as well. Fun in the sense, somebody actually coming in and being a visual part of this session. So, Meena, I want to start off by saying that I remember a couple of things. I'll tell you. One is I was told that before they would start the construction of a bridge, okay, like a flyover, and this was in the context of where I live, the town in which I live. I was told that before they do that, they call a tantric, or they call somebody who's into that kind of stuff, okay, and that person performs some sort of a black magic, not really a black magic, but they perform something to ensure, it seems, ensure that nothing comes in the way of the construction of the bridge, so that future accidents may not happen, okay. And there are certain instances, I was told that there are sacrifices of animals also made. Now, of course, that's bad and that's good and all, that's a different discussion. But I do want to say that uh, in any pursuit, Meena, I feel where there is a lot at stake, uh, and there is jealousy involved, the
Yeah.
role of magic has been very prevalent. And so I don't know, but as you say to me, I obviously believe the fact that um, jealousy sometimes can destroy or can come as an obstacle to somebody else's growth. And and if it has sort of affected careers of actors and actresses, there is this vulnerability and there is a science where people go towards black magic to find out the root cause of it. So I'm not surprised that when you buy a new house, for example, you do something. Now that's not black magic. It is something like we have talked about before as well, is creating the right vibrations, creating the right kind of an aura which will destroy negativity around. And even jealousy, Meena, I feel, if it crosses those lines where somebody literally thinks ill and evil for someone else, it can actually have an impact on that person's mind and also on the person's success. So I completely give in to the fact that, Meena, there are a lot of these successful people who do get into getting into things like black magic to try and avoid the possible aspects of their careers getting destroyed. Haven't you heard of something which is very different? Maybe we can talk about it. Is tarot cards, okay,
Yeah.
or for example numerology. So so I'm not sort of deviating, but I'm just saying people do get into certain sciences like these astrological only because there is this possibility that somebody who's jealous, who's envious, who's angry at somebody else's success can literally cross lines and do some things or get some things done. I mean, I know of a friend of mine, and he literally had, he suffered health wise a lot. He didn't even know why it was happening. Only when, now that's what he says. So it's only for us to believe or not believe. But I can tell you, this guy is not some, he's an educated person. There was a small little doll, black colored doll that was found in the garden outside his house, in his own garden, but outside his main house. And it was visualized by this tantric. And it was said that black magic, because of which his health was getting affected without any reason, to the extent that he almost touched the higher God and came back. Now, we are talking about, Meena, these subjects which are open to getting challenged, or people could say that, hey, come on, this is all, come on, it's nothing. But I believe that just that if there is past life and previous birth, and there are so many occult sciences. Sometimes if you study the Buddhist way of meditation, I was just watching a documentary about they practicing certain ways by which they can create heat in the body so much that even at heights where there's snow, they start sweating. And so many things, Meena, I think are still yet to be discovered. And maybe sometimes through such podcasts, at least we ignite questions about these aspects.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Ujwala is saying, Mayuji, I'm feeling strongly that someone did black magic on me because I'm continually struggling in my career as well. Also, my family, trying to find a life partner for me since the last 6 to 7 years. So there seems to be many blockages in her life.
Sure, sure. Uh, can I just take this up, Ujjwala? To
Yeah,
Amina, can I
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
respond?
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's
so
for
I
you.
can just, so Ujjwala, I can say this to you, and
Yeah.
maybe it appeals to all of us, is whether black magic is done to you or not is something you need to find out. One is you feel it because of you sensing that many things are not happening, where you feel failure is just going on and on in your personal life or professional life. So you feel like you feel very vulnerable towards believing that happening. I am of the view that you should not just jump to conclusions like that, because that can even weaken the mind. It may be that you need to work on your professional skills. I'm not being personal here. I'm just saying there could be some aspects where it could be that you should look out for other opportunities. Do you know there are so many people who are not doing well in career because of their bosses? Because sometimes a bad boss is worse than black magic.
Yeah.
Because sometimes his insecurity comes as an obstacle to your growth. So what I suggest is, Ujjwala, if you can, please find out ways or way by which you can confirm that something or someone has done something to you or your family. There are ways. Okay, I'm not an expert in this, but I know, because I live in a world, and I'm interacting with so many people who have done the same thing. It's called checking out. They check it out. They may need your time of birth, your year of birth, uh, maybe some other specifics, and they will find out. There are people who do that. Of course, you have to believe in the fact that it is possible. Okay, you can't be a skeptic and just give something to somebody and say, "Hoga ki nahi, but I'm just giving it." You have to feel that, okay, let me give it a try. That's one. Second, I also feel, Ujjwala, and to all of us, is irrespective whether we are affected, if somebody's done or not, there's something called self cleansing or cleansing. If you heard of this term called aura cleansing, where the aura that we typically have is a pure one, but it could get contaminated by somebody else's negativity. And we need to keep cleansing it. One of the ways, Meena, I've realized, and this is my experience, Meena, based on my love for my guru, and and this is what I've experienced myself, is one of the most beautiful ways of cleansing the negativity around you is chanting, Vedic chanting. Now, because I don't live in Greece, I don't know the Greek and the Latin way of chanting, but I'm sure there also would be some connection where you chant, and those vibrations through the chants can cleanse the negative aura. So, to Ujjwala, I would say specifically, start, if you can, chanting something which has got bijaksharas. The simplest of it would be Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. The Om is a bijakshara. Then there are other bijaksharas, for example, Aim, Hreem, Shreem. So that sound that emanates out of you uttering that in the particular way can also act as a cleansing catalyst. So I feel when you start cleansing, even the blockages, like Meena correctly said, those things that block your thinking process, that block your creativity. The worst effect of a black magic is not on the body, which is there, but it's worse on the mind. I've seen people suddenly they become moody, the depression hits them. They don't even realize why it's happening. So, but it has to be checked first. It
Yes.
could be that sometimes the pandemic has created that that environment. But I just want to say one sentence, and I leave it to Meena to add her perspective. Is why don't we just prevention is better than cure. So
Mhm.
prevent anyone or anything from coming close to you by creating a strong aura. So, for example, which I always love to chant, and I believe cleanses, is Om Jata Pata Hisam Brahman Brahman Nilimpa Nirjhari Vilola Vichi Vallari Virajamana Murdhani Dhagat 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 Jwalalla Lata Patta Pavake Kishora Chandra Shekhare Rati Pratikshanam Mama. And when you say it with complete force, not shouting, but with complete intensity, I believe vibrations are so strong. If you go to any temple, you'll always find a bell. They always say when you enter, first you strike, tang. That itself creates a lovely divine aura, isn't it? So similarly, we can create that temple kind of a vibration in our mind by chanting something. And that's what I believe. and I could always be there as a friend to share some specific chants because I love chanting. Yeah.
Yeah. So they say there's a list of black magic symptoms. For example, like intense cold sensation on the chest or shoulders, a sort of a suffocation, or days close to when it's full moon. There's a kind of change in you, or a stinging sensation in the neck on the solar plexus, a sort of a burning sensation, or painful contractions in the head at the level of the solar or cardiac plexus, intense pain in the head, mostly in the evening, and unjustified concerns that is not generated by a particular emotional state, nor by stress, sorrows, or quarrels, and a continuous feeling that something is seriously about to happen to yourself or someone close to you, or scary and repeated nightmares. So these are some of the symptoms that people constantly talk about. Now,
Sure.
let me just take a comment from you, Karthik. Karthik says, one of my relatives was much into black magic and used it during a property dispute. However, it backfired and it took her life and her son.
It's true.
Yeah.
True. True.
What
True.
happens in
Oh,
such
there is. Yeah.
cases, Mayur?
So, okay, I'll answer this. Firstly, Karthik, Har Har Mahadev. Nice to see you, and nice to have myself back because you guys are always in touch with Meena and her shows. Um, to respond to what Karthik said, I am completely convinced about this. Um, See, do people who practice black magic, Meena, are those people who have lost control over the emotion of jealousy and the anger that emanates out of jealousy. We are humans. There is a tendency even in animals to feel jealous, in the sense that when I remember when my daughter would go close to Meghna, and we have three dogs. One of them would literally bark, saying that, "Why are you going?" In that sense. So that's a cute little jealousy that she's mine, and Malvika, you shouldn't go there. But this is different. So, firstly, I would say it's literally dangerous, but people do this, Meena, because the they can't control their emotions, where they can't afford to see somebody doing so well, and they cross the line, and that's where they take a risk. Now, what I've heard, and this is completely based on what I've heard from sources, if suppose a person does black magic on another person, okay, if that person finds out through his contacts or through his whatever, it can it can be resent like a boomerang. It can go back. It can be resent to the person who's created the black magic, and that can hit the other person in with double or triple impact. Which is why, as as Karthik said in his case, or rather in his uncle's case, um, when it was sent back, it took the lives of two people, which is the highest, isn't it? When somebody actually dies, there's the worst, right? But I've seen people who've been hit by that. When they did some black magic, it affected them mentally. They became mentally retarded. I've seen that as well. Now, these things can't be corroborated. These things can't be proved. But I know for a fact that these things do happen. I'll give you one example, and probably then I'll let you have your say and maybe get some people to
No,
share
please
their
continue.
thoughts.
Please continue. Very interesting.
So I got now I won't put names uh, because I always think that privacy is important for these people because these are real people. Okay, a real thing. I have a person who I was doing personal coaching with, and she doesn't live in India. She lives in a different country, and she called me up and she says that I'm just shocked, Mayur. I can't believe what is happening. And I said, what happened? I'm not able to focus on my work. I can't sleep at nights. I said, what happened? I mean, because she's trying to think on how to explain because she doesn't realize that I believe in something like this. So she's trying to create that, preparing me. And I said, tell me what happened. She says, my daughter has been seeing seeing something, and she sits, she gets up sometime at 2:33, and she says, I can see that auntie. Initially they said, okay, fine, they ignored because that child would be, I think, around 4 or 5 years old, so she's not too old and she's not too young. But it continued, and then she would not sleep properly, so that child's sleep got affected. So when this lady's father was there. He got to know, and he said, "You know what? I didn't tell you this, but I could actually see, I could feel initially, and then I actually saw shadow. I saw a shadow, a form, but looked like a lady's form. Now that I specific, I don't know, but she said that even my father, and now they literally have taken a trip, the couple, to get this sorted out because she's not able to focus on
Yeah.
her work. So it can have such effects. And initially she said, Mayur, I'm not somebody who believes in all this, but I just can't help it because we are feeling the fear in my. She's not totally scared, but she's confused. She was talking about her daughter, and she sees and she says she sometimes talks to her, and she says this daughter says that aunt's that form that auntie says, I'm going to take you away, and that's created so much of fear. And the interesting part, Meena, is practically she says there's nothing that you see. So you're not. It's a normal thing. Like today,
Mm.
you're in your room, I'm in my room, and there's still something. There's still something, which is why, and then okay, they called up somebody, and that somebody in some part of this state of Maharashtra said somebody has done something and set
Mm.
an energy, negative energy
Mm.
to you,
Mm.
especially to affect the daughter.
Mm.
Now, how can you explain this with science? It goes beyond. They're coming now and they're getting it sorted out because some pujas have to be done. So from where I come, Meena, is that it is there, and we have to protect ourselves. We have to see that we create some sort of a boundary, a
Mm.
rekha,
Mm.
so that those energies don't come closer, because we do not know how people are looking at us. Meena, you are a strong personality, okay, and you're very strong, okay, very radiant, and you're very forthright. I mean, you know that, I know that, the world knows that. You say what you feel and you feel what you say. But you're not the only one. There are others. But there is that type of people who will take the risk.
Mm.
And you know that there are people who will be either jealous of somebody's success or they'll be angry. And some of them can literally take the next step. We
Mm.
have to be, therefore, cautious and do something to protect ourselves.
Also, Mayur, do you think that, see, when a person looks at you, uh, the look itself can throw something
Oh, yeah.
negative? Can you
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that? Mm.
Sure. I mean, there are two ways of understanding this. One is the way the drishti is. I use the word drishti because I can't find any other word that's as to the point as drishti. उनका जो देखने का एक नजरिया होता है, the way they look, not just the placement of their eyes, you can sense that they feel not pride. They may show something, but they actually as they're not happy with the way you're doing well in life. So the
Mm. Mm.
eyes. And
Mm.
second, also I've seen is the tone of communication. Sometimes the tone is the undertone to it. They may say something that, like, you're wonderful, but you may get the feeling, the vibe is that actually they don't mean a word of it. To be honest, it smells of jealousy. So and I think one of the things I've seen, Meena, is if we spiritually progress, that spiritual maturity gives us that maturity to
Mm.
even pick up those vibes,
Mm.
which I think is very important. Because if you see, forget about talking, as you rightly said, sometimes just the way the person looks at you, even from a distance, you can make out the vibe that you're getting.
Because people
There's
have
this
said, I
instance
think,
where,
yeah,
yeah,
before also, people have said that, see, when a person looks at, something that's beautiful, bountiful, for example, a lot of vegetables or, in a garden, flowers. But if a
yeah,
particular person looks at that, they all shrink and die, you
yeah,
know. So what could that be, you
true,
see?
true, true. So, if you go deeper, Meena, there are these frequencies of negative energies that through your thoughts, through your entire
Mm.
body language, we are, if you look at it, we of course can feel our body, but we are a ball of energy, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it true, Meena, that
Mm.
sometimes you meet a person and then when he walks away, you just feel, my God, I just got this very negative vibration. I just can't.
Yeah, yeah.
You get that feel, right? You can't
Mm.
explain. It's easier to probably explain the taste of water, which it isn't,
Mm.
than explaining how you feel that way.
Yeah.
So I I feel that when, for example, when you look at, so इसे कहा जाता है कि say something really lovely about a kid, a child, first thing उसका नजर उतार दो, you know,
Yeah.
because you don't know with what intent this person has flowered so many compliments. Maybe that
Yeah.
compliments hai na, Meena, it's a camouflage. Inside the compliment there's a lot of hatred, there's a lot of anger,
Yeah.
and that is through the energy that comes out, which is also what affects the plants.
Yeah.
I feel plants are vulnerable, right? Like we have this consciousness where we can react, we can, we have
Yeah.
some intelligence, a little more, hopefully, but plants are more vulnerable, right? So
Mm,
probably they get affected, they absorb, even animals. I
mm,
will not say anything except for the fact that a very divine soul mentioned once that when something had been done to that divine soul, because of the protection, the first thing that got hit were
mm,
the cows.
mm, mm,
The black magic effect got deflected and it
mm.
went towards the cows, and the cows started dying.
Yeah.
It was meant for the divine soul, but the divine soul was so strong it didn't
Yeah.
even come close, but it got deflected. Now, this comes from the divine soul, so I can be sure about that.
Mm, yeah. So Meera is asking an interesting question about Vashikaran. She's saying, is there something like that? Vashikaran.
Yeah. So Vashikaran, in Sanskrit or Hindi, in English, if I am, if I'm correct to understand, it is trying to control the mind space of the other person, trying to mesmerize, hypnotize in a very negative way, and making that
Yeah.
person come into your control. I think that's what is Vashikaran. आपके वश में आप लेके आते हो
Mm,
in Hindi. You bring
mm,
that person in your vash, in your control.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, there is something called hypnosis, right? Now, to hypnosis, you add few more layers. Hypnosis happens when the person across, Meena, becomes submissive, right? The person
Yeah.
says,
Yeah.
okay, I'm ready to be hypnotized. But
Mm,
in Vashikaran, it seems that, when I say it seems, because I've not been part of, I mean, I've not been affected, fortunately, or I've
mm,
only heard about it. So I
mm,
know for a fact that in Vashikaran, uh, through certain certain um, what should I say, intonations, recitations, chantings, okay, mantras, you can literally create some sort of an attraction in the mind of that person towards you.
mm,
It's like the Pied Piper thing. You know, the
mm,
Pied Piper who did that, and then
mm,
listening to that, all the rats went towards him.
mm,
Now, this is metaphorically, I said that. Here, I've seen, Meena, that I have actually come across an example where
mm.
a person has literally mesmerized another person to hand over all that person's money, cash to that other person. That is also Vashikaran. Vashikaran happens in different ways.
Yeah.
Vashikaran also has that typical way where a person lures that other opposite entity, opposite gender, into
Mm,
having,
yeah.
whatever that they do, right? So वो तो है कि he
Mm,
lured that lady,
mm,
and there are, I won't mention any names, but there are certain people who've attained high levels of you know popularity, and they can literally look at a person and tell the person what is going on in the person's head. But
mm,
if it is misused,
mm,
there are guys who are not even godmen or whatever, they're just not into meditation
yeah.
to such an extent, they misused it.
Mm,
I know sometimes you meet a person, I know that you see the person and you look into the eyes and you feel that the person is doing a lot of meditation,
mm,
the
mm,
intensity. And the
mm,
person is not even like a great spiritual saint, just
mm,
practicing some things.
mm,
And so Vashikaran does exist. We need to be very careful. And that's why, Meena, what you said makes a point, is we should be cautious enough to pick up the vibe,
mm,
because Vashikaran is not something which is totally like in their control. If you are strong, they can't come in.
mm, mm.
Typically, like they say, ghosts, they feed on people's fear. Even people
Yeah.
who do Vashikaran, they feed on vulnerability
Yeah.
and other people's nervousness. For them, that's the way they take over. So if you
Yeah.
feel anything,
True.
just say Har Har Mahadev. That no
So
Vashi and no current. Yeah.
true Indian says, I never believe in them until I faced obstacles which halts your personal progress. Got good quality clothes from dawn regularly, from objects never thought of. Nails found in cooked vegetables, lemons fell. So that's rather strange.
Yeah, but Meena, nothing is strange. The fact that we are not the only humans living in this space is not strange.
Mm,
There are paranormal energies
mm,
anywhere that you wish they are, but they don't know we are here, and we don't know they're there. By the way, as I was getting ready for the session, me and my daughter Malvika, we watched which with Nicole Kidman, and I suggest to all of you watch it, where
Which one? Uh,
the others.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yes, yes.
I think I mentioned that
Shyamalan's.
before. Yeah, no, it's not Shyamalan. It's somebody else. It's Nicole Kidman. I don't think it's Shyamalan, but it's an older movie before Shyamalan came.
Uh, mm,
But it's
mm,
a nice one, Meena. Just watch
mm,
it.
mm. Yeah,
Me,
I've seen it. It's
Malvika,
very beautiful.
yeah, it's very beautiful, and I get scared. But Malvika is like she increased the volume, yeah. So I
Yeah.
think she's like already ready with to face all paranormal entities. But coming to the
Yeah.
point is, such things do happen. You may
Mm,
find blood
mm,
in a cloth
mm,
in a form of a small doll
yeah.
placed somewhere. If somebody is
Mm,
performing black magic, even that has been done. So these things happen. Oh, Karthik makes a good point, yeah.
yeah. I always carry sea salt whenever I have to visit any relative and have to stay there. I put the salt in the bath water for cleansing and have my bath. It is to ensure safety.
Uh, Karthik, safety from hopefully not your relative, right? I'm just joking. Safety from the place where you go. Um, yeah, salt actually is true, isn't it? I mean, even when they do these the auras in the house, they always say keep salt in different corners of the house.
Mm,
I've seen some paranormal videos where they have salt guns, like with salt water, and then
mm,
I've seen something else where they'll do some kind of magic, and they'll try to get the ghosts, the spirits to appear, but they'll carry salt with them. I don't know what the actual thing is.
yeah.
Even when nazar utarni hoti hai na, I mean, I don't know if you know this
Mm,
in Hindi, they call nazar utarna.
mm,
It used to happen to my kids. My mom
mm,
would do it, or my wife would do it, or even my mom still does it. When I get something good, she'll say come, and then she'll burn some mirchi and all, and then she'll
mm,
have salt.
mm,
First she'll do that, and then she'll say something again three times. She'll touch the floor, and then she'll
mm,
put it in the bowl, and she'll put it on fire. And
mm,
agar it creates a lot of dhua, that means
mm.
something kuch to gadbad hai. If there's no
Yeah,
dhua, that means okay, everything is cool. So salt plays an important role. I'm completely sure of that.
yeah.
But I'll have to carry
Zoya
it
says,
myself as well. Sorry, yeah.
yeah, Zoya says, how do you get it checked like you suggest, Mayur, from a trustworthy person? I'm in the USA and recently went to this one person. He charged me $700, did something that frightened me, so I never went back. She has one more pointer, and let me read that as well.
Yeah.
He made me sit in front of him, put my old shirt on the floor, made me fold it a few times, then started chanting something. Fire erupted from the shirt. Then he started shaking and fell on the floor.
Hmm. Well, Zoya, let me say this, man. I mean, uh, there is black, there is white, there is gray, there is honesty, there is dishonesty, there is a mix of both. There are people who are studying in the sixth standard, but they talk to you like they're PhDs. You know what I'm saying? Like they know up to sixth standard metaphorically, but they'll behave like they know PhD. Then there are scientific chemical reactions that some people have mastered. You rub something and suddenly there's ash coming out. There are people who will suddenly do something and the color changes to red kumkum. And I just feel, Zoya, uh, and to all, I think Joy is just making a point, but to all of us, we got to be therefore very cautious. Um, I don't think that because fire straight away, emanated out of the shirt means it's really that what it is. It could be something. It could be either true or it could also be a chemical reaction. So I wouldn't go and say that, oh my God, that's unbelievable, that's so true, and it happens. I can't say that, but I can also say that you need to please. One needs to, I would say, Meena, practice meditation. मेरा ये मानना है मीना that as we grow spiritually, our ability to differentiate between fake and genuine also increases. Are you getting my point, Meena?
Yeah,
Like tomorrow somebody may come and say that बालक आपके घर में तो मुझे कुछ लग रहा है, something is there. I'm like, really? कुछ नहीं, आप कुछ डरो मत, मैं हूं अभी. and he will just say, "एक काम करो ये ले लो." My God, oh my God, this is unbelievable. ये विभूति कुछ नहीं बाबा, कुछ नहीं बेटा, एक काम करो, ये सिर्फ एक रुद्राक्ष रखो आपके पास और कुछ मत करो। बाबा कुछ तो ले लो। नहीं कुछ नहीं, मैं अभी निकल रहा हूँ। हाँ, अगले महीने में जब आऊंगा तभी एक छोटी सी पूजा करेंगे, उसके लिए 25,000 आपको वो देना पड़ेगा। That's how also happens. It's so layered, you don't even know. So, what will help me to understand whether that person is real or not? I think to a large extent is my own self purification, spiritual purification, my own. You said, Meena, people's eyes, even our drishti is important to identify the other person's drishti. So, I think if we are strong, we have the sense, the detectability, spiritually speaking. I think we will be more protected from such things.
So Priya says, yes, Meera, you are right. A lady, my neighbor, did Vashikaran to my husband's friend. She fed him in food, and from 6 years, she is with him.
Wow, that's really. I mean, I don't know what to say. Yeah, one lady, my neighbor, did Vashikaran,
Oh,
and
sorry.
so
Let
she.
me just get back to that. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
one
yeah.
second. One second. Hold on. So she's saying a friend of hers, I can't get back to that. She says a
Sure,
friend
sure.
of hers, her husband was, something was done to him. And for the last 6 years in this Vashikaran, that lady has been living with the husband because of the things that she did.
Yeah, yeah. But Meena, there are many layers to this. There are many
Mm,
layers to this.
mm,
The simplest layer of towards Vashikaran is the fact that a man or a woman with his or her attributes, speaking ability, can influence somebody, and
mm.
once that person becomes comes into the control in that sense, just because of the way the person speaks,
Yeah.
then things change. The
Mm,
same person becomes who was very nice and who
mm,
brought that other person into his or
mm.
her life, starts dominating. That's a
Yeah.
layer. Now I don't think that
Mm,
has anything to do with black magic,
yeah.
but there are other higher layers or deeper
Mm,
layers where
mm,
certain practices have been done to
mm,
literally create an impact on the mind,
mm,
forcing that person towards getting
mm.
attracted to this person.
Yeah.
I've heard of that as well, but I don't know
Yeah.
which layer this falls in.
Mm,
But I come back to the same thing, Meena, is we have to be strong, we have to be smart, we have to be
mm,
spiritually mature enough to understand who's trying to do what to us.
mm, mm,
Okay, I went to Varanasi. I was standing at the ghat. Now I could see there were many people in the beautiful form of the Aghori or the Nagas, right, with the hair and all. I always keep my distance.
mm,
I would not mean I just go and say, "Oh, Haran Mahadev," I can't, because my vulnerability can
mm,
become a source or an opportunity for them to start
mm,
dominating.
mm,
Okay, काफी लोगों का होता है मीना ऐसे. When they see something which is like a form which is in the form of a sadhu, they feel this thing of, yeah, okay, I'm not saying you should go and be arrogant and
mm,
aggressive, but
mm,
maintain your strength to not suddenly jump at the feet.
mm,
Understand, observe, and
mm,
sometimes you realize that you may not be comfortable, though
mm,
they look like a sadhu. They may not be really. You don't get that right vibe, and that's what
mm,
happened this time when I went to Varanasi. I went to the boatman there, and I said, "Hey, I want to meet an Aghori Baba." He said, "आपको fake Aghoris को मिलने तो काफी सारे हैं यहाँ पे. If you want to meet the fake ones, there are many. Can you
mm,
see that one?" And that fellow was sitting somewhere near the boat. This
mm,
is at the Manikarnika Ghat where they
mm,
burn the bodies,
mm,
no, the cremation ghat.
mm, mm,
And he was obviously smoking something, but more than the smoking,
mm,
what I saw is that the boatmen probably, because they take these people on the other side, okay,
mm,
of the river, where
mm,
there are huts where they perform. So he said, if you really want to meet one Agori Baba, he comes in the
mm,
month of March, and
mm,
he performs actual rituals. And he showed me the photo of he sitting on the dead body and performing a ritual.
mm,
And I therefore feel we have to be ourselves very careful, very cautious,
mm,
and
mm,
not suddenly jump to conclusions or not fall for anybody uh, because of their aura, because that
mm.
sometimes the aura can be manipulated by them itself.
Also, if you talk about other symptoms, Mayur, they also
Yeah,
speak about tiredness and weakness without any apparent cause, as in loss of energy, fatigue,
yeah,
restlessness when getting out of bed in the morning, unmotivated and unreasonable fear when alone, and actions of which one is not aware, such as sleepwalking. These episodes repeat during moon phases, then awakening in the middle of the night with the feeling of a disturbing presence in the bedroom. This is one of the most characteristic symptoms of an evil action, and a
sure.
tendency to suicide, lots of interest in life. So these are, again, see, there are many symptoms
Of
that are
course.
coming out, and these are the ones that most people feel.
Yeah.
Now, Sensible Life says, my family
Yeah.
has been to the Sarpa temple in Mangalore because someone had done black magic on my family.
Hmm. So
Interesting
just as
because
there are, yeah,
Mayur always talks about the Sarpa temples,
yeah,
as our protectors. So,
yeah.
yes, Mayur.
So, so Sarpa, we should have a different session on even Sarpa doshas and
Yeah.
Sarpas, because
Mm,
see, there is something called Naga. Naga
mm,
are not only
mm,
Naga sadhus.
mm,
Nagas are not only the Nags that we talk about, the actual
mm,
serpents. There is something called the Naga Devtas,
mm,
and it's predominant in the south of India.
mm,
I mentioned this, I
mm.
think, even before and in other podcasts.
Yeah, yeah.
So they are higher beings.
Mm,
So I would connect what I'm saying to what our lady friend just mentioned about the
mm.
family going to the Sarapa
Yeah,
temple.
yeah, yeah,
I think the Kukke Subramanya
yeah.
temple. I think
Cookie
she's
Subramanian.
referring
Yeah,
to that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
hey, I want to say to all of you who are watching this, please go to the temple. It's so,
Yes,
Mina,
I've also
if you
been
can,
there. Yeah,
it's so
I've been there.
beautiful,
Yeah,
isn't it? I mean, you
yeah,
you feel you're back in time. You feel you're
yeah.
in some 500 BC, not BC, maybe 500, after AC or whatever. And you feel the forest around, and of course there are cars and all. But when you walk there to the temple, and it affects you in a beautiful way. But coming to her perspective, to add my perspective to that, I think Meena is such beings, the sarpas, okay, they also have a lot of strength. And if you pray to them, if you
Mm,
seek their strength,
mm.
they will protect you. Um,
Yeah.
Now there is a different science. Forget about the black magic. They say that
Mm,
some ancestors
mm,
did not pay respects to the sarpas, the
mm,
Nagadevtas, the
mm,
ancestors, due to
mm,
which
mm,
the generations next
mm,
were affected by what is called
mm,
the Sarpa dosha. And one of
mm,
the fallouts of that
mm,
was that the inability to conceive or to become
mm,
parents. And therefore
mm,
so people also with those issues go to
mm,
Kuke Subramanyam to seek the
mm.
blessings and also to pray that please, resolve those issues. And it's all
Yeah.
at the mental level, by the way, Meena. It's not that
Mm,
Sarpadosha means it is as a physical level, because you know and I know and we all know, when there's a consummation, it's
mm,
from the mind, right? You have to
mm, mm,
feel and then it happens.
yeah.
So the dosha affects the mind.
Mm, mm,
And I believe that these entities have the strength to even
mm,
uh, negate the evil
mm.
forces, which is what I think our friend was talking
Yeah.
about.
And she's continuing. She's saying, after performing the puja for more than a year, my bad dreams are gone. I'm not scared of snakes anymore. Snakes, especially cobra, used to give birth in my aunt's house.
Wow.
After this, my aunt could give birth to a baby boy. Mayur, you just mentioned regarding the
Yeah.
childbirth.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
A sensible life. I'm making a very not a very sensible point, but based on what you said, I feel cobras. I'm not joking, Meena. Please, I'm not even exaggerating. When I went to
Yeah, what
places
do you
in,
say?
okay, I think you got. I said that to sensible life, I may not have made a. I'm making a not a very sensible perspective, because what I'm going to say may sound a little like woo, but since a child, I've never been afraid of snakes,
Mm,
especially cobras.
mm,
We have a house in a place called Shirali,
mm,
which is in Karnataka.
mm,
It's opposite to a beautiful temple called Mahamaya Ganpati Devasthana, and
mm,
we have this big half an acre of land there near the house.
mm,
And I had spotted this 7 foot snake skin, cobra skin.
mm,
That's what
mm,
they said.
mm,
It looked like that, and I actually held it in my hand and I brought it
mm,
home to take it to Mumbai.
mm.
Okay. And my dad's like, "Are you crazy? What's wrong?" And I used to go after that to see where are those snakes. In fact, I have a feeling I'm one. I am one. So that's the nonsensible point I'm making. But sometimes I feel that, like, I feel very attracted and drawn towards Kuke Subramanyam. I believe there are these five-headed serpents which you may not and we may not even see. They don't make themselves visible to us. But if you go to those small little villages in the south, and if you go to some temples outside, you'll find something called Naga Katta. There are these actual forms,
Yeah.
like murals, stone murals with five-headed serpents on them, and not now, hundreds of years ago. So,
Yeah.
it's completely true from my point of view that
Yeah.
Nagas have the strength to influence us in the positive way.
In fact, Mayur, see, there was in Twitter today, there was a beautiful image of Shiva lingam and a cobra, sort of standing there, as if protecting it. Now, one thing everybody has noticed, and these are not, what do you say, coincidence or something, but it's always seen that wherever there's a Shiva linga or a Shiva temple, cobras are attracted to it. And once a doctor in Koilan, he told me that he wanted to start this Ayurvedic hospital, and he decided that he wanted to sort of have something that will make people notice the hospital. So what he did was built a huge deity of Shiva. Now people say you don't do that. Normally you do put a linga, but you don't put Shiva. And then he had a small pond in front of it where he had piranhas. And on that night, the day they had built everything and all, a golden cobra came there. The watchman
Can
said
you
at
say,
night.
can you okay, can you just say that I missed that part? On that same night, what happened?
On the same night, at the golden cobra
Wow.
came there. Yeah, and it was in the pond where the piranhas were. So the piranhas did not touch it.
Hmm,
you
hmm,
know,
hmm,
and it came
hmm.
as if in, in to hail Lord Shiva. So immediately the
Yeah.
forestry people were called and they taken away. But every point, recently they did an excavation, and of many lingas were found, and many cobras were, taken out, and people were, they were celebrating. So
True.
this, the fact that see cobras protect us is
Yeah.
not a myth. What you said is so true.
Absolutely. But just let
Yeah.
me add one thing, Meena, that when you go to Kuke as well, they worship it, right? They just don't call it a cobra. They worship it as a god, and
Yeah.
there are mantras. If you find out, there are sarpa dosha mantras and all. So if somebody has
Yes.
something, you should chant that. And I think it's available even on Google. You can listen to it.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah.
I'm just highlighting that point as well. Not listen, Meena. What I've learned is one more thing is not uh, every just like not every snake is a naga,
Mm.
not every naga is that serpent. Okay,
Yeah.
like okay, so it's like in humans, you, we, not every human is divine. No, I mean we all have divinity within. So there are different. So even in like dogs, there are different species. Even in
Yeah.
cobra, I mean, I
Mm.
believe and I've learned that there are certain types of nagas. Now, when you talk about a golden naga, how many are there actually?
Mm.
They're not many, right? They
Yeah. Very
and
few.
they
Mm.
maybe very few, or they may not be making themselves visible as well. But
Yes.
this was
Exactly.
seen. Maybe
Yeah.
this was
Yeah.
seen to send a message that I have
Yes.
come to
Yes.
protect.
And I,
Maybe may
see, and why, Mayur, why I believed it was they showed me a photograph.
oh,
They showed me a photograph. Yes. Can you imagine?
you got to WhatsApp that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
We'll
say,
get
oh
it
my
back
God,
from the
this is the
doctor.
same. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just intrigued. I'm just excited. But this happens. This is true,
Mm.
and that's
Mm.
why. See, why do you think people just go to Kuke Subramanyam, for
And not
example?
this is not the first time, Mayur. Even recently, a grey cobra came. So that means, see,
Acha.
that is not a statue. Lord Shiva is there
Sure, sure,
within.
sure.
That is
Yeah,
why
yeah,
they are
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
attracted.
Absolutely.
You know. So
It's
Zara
the
is
it's
saying,
the it's
I
the
had a
yes.
yeah, I had a dream recently, a snake. I guess a cobra around my neck like a noose, and there was a mantra playing in the background. Not sure what to make of this, Mayur.
I'll just say in one sentence, Zara, that please take such, receive and absorb such visions,
Mm.
uh, either through your dreams or through your meditations. as a blessing. If you're because see if you're they sometimes we can't understand, sometimes we get confused. The best thing is to receive that as a blessing and make that as a way to enhance your own spiritual growth. What I would say to myself is, if I get such dreams, is let it not make me me into a zone, Meena, where I say, oh wow, I'm special, I get these dreams. I've come across those people as well. That, Mayur, I don't know about you, but I get these dreams here. So what do you do about them? You should try and make those dreams help you to do more japa. Maybe it should make you want to go deeper into spirituality. But if you're going to get caught into your ego boost that I'm something special because I can see those dreams, you're getting stuck. So I would say to Zara as well, is it's a beautiful message that there is a protection for you because the mantras are being played. So that means there is something positive that's going on. Take it as a booster to boost your spiritual progress in whatever that you're doing spiritually.
Yeah. Priya comes back to the same point. She says, ma'am, the same lady who was with my husband's friend, nowadays every full moon day, a lemon is seen near the wheel of my four-wheeler. That lady is taking revenge, as I informed her. So that's something she has to be careful about.
Yeah, yeah. This is Priya. This is something which one needs to be very cautious about these things. I know it can rebound and it can go back to that person, but people need to be very cautious to sort of don't take this so seriously, because I've seen sometimes when you see this and you take it very seriously, it affects you straight away because you start thinking about it the whole time. Oh my God! So, firstly, don't. Second, I know I'm sounding repetitive, but I want to re-emphasize. Please cover kavach around you. Your kavach, your protection, your aura that protects you is not by only reporting to yourself that, hey, I saw a lemon, or that's not a kavach. That's only what you've seen. What are you doing about maybe chanting something, meditation, visualize that you're being protected. And if I can only pray that you're blessed with some entity, like in the form
Yeah.
of a guru, a genuine
Yeah.
guru who can be
In
there.
fact, Mayur, they say the Narayana Kavach it's an excellent, mantra, that can shield you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And, Meena, there is this world of Vedic is humongous, it's huge, it's beautiful. There are so many mantras like Narayana Stotra, uh, Aditya Hridayam. It's a beautiful one, Aditya Hridayam. I mean, the most popular and still the most powerful one, Hanuman Chalisa. I mean,
See,
I would
one
say to
thing is,
everybody.
yeah, exactly, yeah. See, one thing is, Mayur, see, first of all, people, the viewers, should understand that there's nothing wrong in discussing these things. I mean, it doesn't make you weird to discuss black magic or, such negative forces, because that doesn't make you odd, or that doesn't make you a sort of a superstitious person. These things are happening. So discuss it. I mean, get it off your system.
Yeah.
They'll say that scientifically it can't be proved. Don't worry about that. Talk about it. Get it out of your system. When Mayur is
Yeah.
telling you some things, like, protect yourself through mantras, I mean, that's the best thing you could do.
No, my point is this, Meena, is to anyone who would say, "What are you guys talking about? It doesn't." I totally respect. They say the best way to to deal with an argument like that is walk away, because you'll hit your head head on the wall. But to take your point ahead, Meena, is to all our friends, is if you find somebody like-minded, it's better to share it. It's better to
Yeah,
talk about
yeah,
it. But
yeah.
you have to find somebody who understands.
Yes, exactly,
You know,
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
important. Yeah. So I
Karthik
think
is saying, yeah, did you notice any serpents in Kailasha Manasarovar?
I did not notice serpents. I noticed something else which I've mentioned, so I can say that I did uh, in the twilight night, around 9:30, 10. I noticed some things happening in the skies up. Um the beauty of this is that the more you try to explain, the more difficult it becomes to explain. I feel exhausted to even try and articulate that. Maybe something stops me. Maybe something is within me saying that don't reveal everything. It's within you. take it in because you were there, you felt it, that experience. But can I say something very important here
mm,
to you
yes.
and to all,
Mm,
and take it in the right spirit? I'll say, Meena, that when I went to Kailash Mansarovar, that too with my Guru Swami Sadyojat Shankar Ashram, the serpent that I saw, I didn't just see, the serpent got recognized, got awakened.
mm,
The serpent that is still getting, is vibrating, is the one that's within me. That's for sure.
mm,
And I'm not saying that as a big proclamation.
yeah. Yeah.
I know for sure, there, I keep saying that every time. This went on a different tangent. They do talk about the serpent, coiled serpent that
Mm,
awakens. When you go to such places, especially with your guru, you practice your japa, you sit on the banks of Manasarovar, you see something there, you feel something there.
mm,
Oh my God, it affects you beautifully. You do your japa there, it has an effect. And I believe, Meena, today, if I'm able to speak with you with this kind of sublime clarity, it's because of that. Why do you think I was able to write Aghori, an untold story?
mm,
I don't know why I'm not able to
mm,
write Aghori 2 right now, because the
mm,
feeling I get is not now. Wait, it's going to happen.
mm, mm,
It's
mm.
so some things get awakened. So I
So
believe the
here,
serpent
friends, I'd like to
for the
say that Mayur has brought out a brilliant book called Aghori. And if you want to buy it and read it, because it's a beautiful experience, it's available on Amazon. And when you read it, you'll be amazed, you know, at the content. But, it's mind blowing. So please, friends, if you get you get time, do read it, because these are things that you
yeah,
really don't know about, so that's yeah. So Rinky
let's
says,
yeah,
I have Kai
yeah.
Shrap dosha. Do you know how I can get rid of that dosha?
Well, Rinky, I can only pray that you will get rid of it. I'm
Kal
not
Shrap, I
going
think.
to
Kal Shrap dosha.
Kal Sarp Yog.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kal Sarp Yog. I'm aware of
Mm,
Kal Sarp Yog. What I
mm,
can say to Rinky, it's called Kal Sarp Dosh,
mm,
like a sharp. Rinky, let me say this to you, that please, if you can, find out a good astrologer who is aware of such things, and you may find that person or that entity further towards the southern parts of India. I'm not saying if you go to the north you won't find, but southern part, because I come from that part. But if you ask me
mm,
personally, specifically, I will not be able to put that in because that becomes too personal for me to tell you. But I can tell
mm,
you that you will find somebody. But check it out. Don't
mm,
straight away, if that person says pay this much and that much, just be cautious. First,
mm,
listen and understand whether that person has the maturity to understand what is it that you're going through. What are the symptoms that probably make you feel that you're going through a Skal Sarpa dosha?
mm,
Astrologically, also, a person is able to find out, Meena, that okay,
mm,
usko ye dosh hai, and there's something called dosha nivaran. That means getting it out,
mm,
resolving that, and that is possible. That is possible. In fact, I think at Kukke Subramaniam Temple, Meena, one can get that done as well. So that
mm.
could be one way Rinky can explore.
Yeah. So Deepa is asking you a question. She's saying, is it possible to evil affects people, whoever comes near to a person, than the person itself? This in turn makes the person less social and vulnerable. So let me read it again. Is it possible for
Yeah.
evil effects people, meaning evil-eyed people, whoever come near to a person than the person itself? This in turn makes the person less social and vulnerable.
I could not understand this question. I'm very
Yeah,
sorry,
so
because
what she's
if I'm
saying
going
is,
to
now, for example, an
misread the
evil
question, I'll
person
answer
comes to
differently.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if an evil person comes to you,
Hmm.
some of it gets rubbed onto you, and that makes you less social and vulnerable. Am I right, Deepa?
Well,
That's what I understand.
because the way she's written the question,
Yeah,
honestly, Deepa, I could not understand. Maybe you need to
yeah,
just
yeah,
retype the question, because
yeah, yeah,
the preposition is going a little here and there. Sorry.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to say this because I may understand the question differently, and I'll
Mm,
answer,
mm.
give a very different answer.
Yes, give another answer.
Um,
Yes.
but if, yeah. So Meena, I can say that there's always something called a rubbing off effect,
Mm.
100%. So they say, you tell me your friends, I'll tell you who you are, right? So
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
amongst people who have evil or negative energies in them, and if you end up being around them, close to
mm,
them, your mind could get influenced. It happens
yes,
even in a
mm,
normal
mm,
way. Like you
yeah,
don't want to gossip about somebody, but you're amongst them. You feel
yeah,
tempted, you feel
true,
vulnerable to become part of that discussion, though you
yeah,
know what you're
exactly,
doing is wrong.
yeah,
That happens. So you need a strong willpower, and
mm.
you need your strength. You need your strength,
Uh,
and that again takes me back to
G1's
your chantings.
Yeah. G1 says black magic will cause many obstacles in your growth personally, professionally, and in relationships. Low moods, anger, unnecessary fights with spouse. This I found,
Yeah.
what G1 says is very, very right. In a person's married life, you know, I've also noticed that. See, you will find that there are certain periods when you are arguing or fighting with your spouse. Okay. Then after a certain period, it's all over. So definitely something is affecting that mood, because you can't pin it down to something like financial problems or something like that.
Sure. Can I just add one
Yeah, yeah,
aspect to this?
yeah,
I think normal quarrels, arguments will happen with the spouse, will
mm,
happen with your father, with your mother,
mm,
with your son or your daughter.
mm,
It's
mm,
sometimes it's the stress that
mm,
creates that. Okay, so I could be playing the devil's advocate, Meena, because I'm not
mm,
going to just
mm,
swallow everything here. I'm
mm,
going to be playing the devil's advocate and say to you,
mm,
Meena, that it could be that I had a bad day at office and the
yeah, yeah,
frustration is coming out. But I think
mm,
where Jivan and where you're coming from is this,
mm,
that under the normal circumstances where I would have been normal, would
mm,
have been jovial, would have been a person who normally wouldn't react in a particular way.
yeah,
I'm reacting. I think that's what I think you guys are talking about,
mm,
and
mm,
that's the red flag up,
mm, mm,
because when black magic or jealousy affects you, it affects your mind. Like I said,
mm,
sometimes we become irrational, illogically angry. Uh, our responses are
mm,
such that we feel sadistic pleasure in
mm,
hurting somebody, and then later on we feel the
mm,
guilt.
mm,
And I think such aberrations in our behavior,
mm,
erratic aberrations in our
mm,
behavior,
mm,
is a red flag for sure,
mm,
for
mm.
sure. But sometimes, I mean, somebody
The
comes
normal,
late,
yeah, yeah, the normal
normal things.
things are,
Yes. So, but we need to be sure about the red flag where
yeah, yeah,
normally I wouldn't react.
mm,
So I've seen a person getting unnecessarily angry
mm,
for a period of time, and suddenly the
mm,
person is the totally the opposite.
yeah.
And the reasons for that person's anger was absolutely zero, and yet he would. So that raises a flag saying that, Baba, you
Yeah.
know, now. So this is where I come from.
Yeah. So Suchita says, my dad's house in Konkan is protected by a big cobra. Not a single cashew can be stolen from that property, as no one stays, as my son's uncles only visit occasionally. Now, here, one more point I want to say, Mayur. See,
Yeah.
in the ashram that Nityananda Swami has, in Bangalore, uh,
Hmm.
there's a huge black cobra, that comes out, at night. And
Wow.
it's as and there's a huge banyan tree, so it's like that banyan tree is its house. So
Mm-hmm.
at night it comes out and just spend some time, and then it goes off. But it's as if it's a protector, and that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm.
Like I said, Veena, these are entities. They're not. They come in the form of the cobra.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
why when you go to the- these villages and you see those
Mm,
kattas, you observe
mm, yeah,
there is a face to the
yeah,
naga. It doesn't look like actual naga. There's a
yeah,
face
yeah.
of a
Mm,
god. Yeah, because they are entities. So this naga that you probably are referring to, or Sucheta, they,
mm,
now whatever um, vidhis, pujas that were
mm,
done to connect with these entities by, say,
mm, mm,
her ancestors, or
mm,
what you talked about, must have happened at that point of time, and those entities are awakened now, and they come in the form of these protectors. Now,
mm,
it's not just the nagas. There are certain places in the south where I know there is a there is a there's a entity called Chaundi,
mm,
Chaundi, Chaundi.
mm,
She is actually a spirit,
mm,
and she's a protector.
mm,
She's a protector of that particular
mm,
that house, and
mm,
the echoes of farms that house
mm,
had. In olden ages, you
mm,
needed somebody to protect, so
mm,
they had invoked the spirit. And
mm,
every week there's a plate with some food placed outside. Somebody something
mm,
specific like rice and this and that, which if
mm,
it isn't, then
mm,
suddenly the house is filled with ants. I think
mm.
we've talked about this before, but
Yeah,
maybe
before.
there are
Yeah,
many people who are watching for the first time.
yeah.
But so just like Nagas, there are these spirits as well.
Mm,
And I don't know whether to call it magic or black or white, but
mm,
this
mm,
is a dimension
mm,
which a lot of us cannot prove, will not be
mm,
able to, but they are
mm.
there. They're there.
Priya says, I think it's on a continuing note. She's saying, my husband met with a serious accident on full moon day. I went to one person. He said that this lady is taking revenge. It's the same link that she has, the one with
Yeah.
the lemon under her four wheeler, so something
Correct.
more to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, what
Yeah.
can I say, Meena, on this? Just need to meet somebody who can, help with protection.
Yeah. Yeah. Ankita says, I had a friend, a Bengali girl. Whenever she visited my house, my son used to fall sick or some fight at home. She used to talk about Kala Jadu and all. Whenever someone would go give halwa to us, so strange,
Hmm.
so strange. And
Yeah.
yes, fight with spouse too.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. See, these are all the things for which, Meena, when we do these podcasts, on such subjects, I
Hmm,
always believe that one of the important purposes of doing this is
hmm,
to
hmm.
also talk about what can we do.
Yes, exactly.
What is happening. What can we
Yeah,
do to see
exactly.
that
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
reduces?
What is the solution?
What is the solution? So to this person, I would say, are you doing your yogic breathing,
Hmm,
pranayam? Okay. Are you doing visualization? Are you doing
hmm,
some sort of meditation? Are you
hmm,
literally intensely invoking whoever that god, the god or the goddess is,
hmm,
if you believe in that? Or are you just internally increasing your strength, making your mind stronger?
hmm.
Because nobody will affect you if your mind is strong,
Yeah.
because that itself is the kavach. That's why
Hmm,
people who practice yoga, the sadhus, why do you think, Meena, sadhus like the Aghori sadhus are
hmm,
able to live in a graveyard with so many spirits around?
hmm, hmm,
Not only are they never affected by black magic, they reach
hmm,
a point where they can
hmm,
control the evil
hmm.
spirits
Yeah.
because they're so strong mentally.
Hmm,
Okay,
hmm,
they have gone beyond fear. So for
hmm,
us normal people, at least
hmm,
every morning spend 15
hmm,
minutes doing something which will
hmm,
reinforce the spirit, which will strengthen you from inside. That's why, Meena, I can say that people who have a guru in their life and who
hmm,
have been initiated into something
hmm,
have nothing to
hmm.
worry. I mean, to a great extent
Yeah.
not to worry, because the protection is already there.
Hmm. Jyoti says, I feel like something was done to my mom's picture. Every time they feel sick, and my brother also met with an accident, and my younger sister is also suffering from brain tumor from last 3 years. So there's a lot of tragedy in her life, Jyoti, and
Yeah.
she suspects that something is being done to her life.
Hmm. So two things, Meena, I'll say as a friend, Jyoti. One is, please internally strengthen yourself, then strengthen your family, create a good aura in your house, and also please seek a specialist
Mm,
who is a master in
mm,
knowing about practices, because there are people who
yeah,
know, and they can actually go to the extent of even identifying the person who's done that to that
yeah,
extent.
yeah. My grandmother used to give all the kids kala dhaga with God's pendant. Is that kavach, sir?
uh, j- yeah, sometimes they do, Ankita, something called mantra sut karna. So they will say mantras, and that dhaga will be absorbed, the dhaga will absorb the vibration of the mantra which you wear. I have one too, but that isn't enough. It's like, you're just being very complacent that dal diya to kuch nahi. No, apart from that, what efforts are you taking? I think, Meena, many times we forget that we need to take our own efforts.
Mm,
When it rains, we
mm,
can't expect the umbrella to open on its own, right? We can't expect
yeah, yeah.
somebody to come and say, can I come to beneath my umbrella. You have to open your own umbrella. You have to
Mm,
take the effort to see that you're protected with vibrations.
mm,
And therefore, I think that's why, these things like Reiki and
mm,
what other thing, Meena, they talk about the directions in the house.
mm.
There's that science
Vastu, yeah.
where they'll say Vastu Shastra. What is
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
about? These are
Mm,
also ways by which,
mm, mm,
it
mm,
protects you from negative energies,
yeah.
like not having the door facing this direction. There's a science to that.
Mm,
Of
mm,
course, I'm not into that, but there's a science to that. So protect
Zara
yourself.
says,
Yeah.
yeah, actually, I'm a Christian, but I hear mantras a lot of the time. I actually would wake up with fear because I didn't understand a lot. Also, being taken by aliens a lot of times. I don't watch scientific fiction at all.
Well, Zara. That's a topic for another time because I believe in aliens myself, and sometimes I doubt whether I'm full human, because there are people who talk about, and I've read as well, that alien civilizations actually created the human civilization. But that's a different, vibrant topic we can talk about. But see, Zara and Meena, I would say that anything that comes in as something that doesn't scare you, intrinsically you feel okay about it, take it as a prasad, take it as a blessing. And when you look at your life in the present time, Meena, I believe, because I'm born in the Hindu tradition of life, religion, I believe in past life. So your soul, in your past life, was there, and it was something. And when you're born in this life, you may be in a different religion, but your still soul is there, right? So that's why you may be hearing those chants, I feel.
Yeah. So what Mayurji is saying is that Usha and to all the others, Hanuman Chalisa is the most powerful, and he can also you can tell them a couple of more mantras that
Yeah,
they can
sure.
chant. Mm.
Sure. So, two things you can do, Usha, and all of you, if you're keen on this, is one is you listen, start listening to mantras, because even your mind and your soul feeling the vibrations, even if it's somebody else chanting it, is also very good. Like I've been told to listen to Aditya Hridayam because it's supposed to be very vibrant and positive, and I listen to it. I listen to Hanuman Chalisa. I can read it, but I've yet not learned it. But there are so many stotrams you can learn which have got tremendous power. For example, the Shiva stotrams are there. There is something which I chant, which is Daridrya Dukkha Dahana Shiva. So it means that when you chant it, it helps you to negate the sorrow and the poverty of the mind. So if you chant it, for example, one verse I'll chant, and people will understand how it can affect. Daridra Dahana Shiva Stotra will be like this. Om Vishveshvaraya Vishakantha Vibhushanaya Karanamrutaya Shashishekhara Dharanaya Karpura Kanti Dhavalaya Jatadharaya Daridrya Dukkha Dahanaya Namah Shivaya Daridrya Dukkha Dahanaya Namah Shivaya Daridrya Dukkha Dahanaya Namah Shivaya. And this is like one of the 12 or 13 verses. Imagine you chant one,
Mm.
and I always say an apple a day keeps a doctor away, but a chanting a day keeps both
Mm.
apple and doctor away. So it will
Yeah.
create that positivity. And I think we can try, at the end, Jo hoga wo hoga, but we can always try our best to
Yeah.
strengthen ourselves first.
Yeah.
And it'll help us to deal with the others. This is one of the things that I've not realized.
Yes.
We've gone beyond 9 o'clock. It's 9:22. It's like, wow,
Okay.
let's go.
Last point from Nisha. Yeah. Last
Yeah.
point is that serpent, the Kundalini, which is in every one of us. That can be
Yes.
awakened.
Yes, it's a metaphorically, Nisha, it is not a real serpent, but there is an energy form which is coiled in the form of a serpent. And why do we put it as a metaphor, as a serpent, real life? A real serpent is because we can visualize that energy, Kundalini energy, in the form of a serpent that is uncoiling itself. And as it is rising, it is opening up the chakras from the Mooladhara chakra right up to the Sahasrara chakra through the Manipura, Swadhisthana, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajna. So as they get opened up, Nisha, you will find your own abilities getting evolved, even psychic abilities, which is why some of these people reach points where they can even see inside you. They can see what's going on. They can see what you went through. They can
Yeah.
see what is going to happen in the future, but they will not tell you because they're yogis. They want you to live your life. But that happens when that Kundalini serpent goes up, 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 up.
Yeah. Zara, see, this is the third session that we're having with Mayur on this topic. Mayur can go on and on because that's the kind of knowledge he has and the kind of experience he's been undergoing. So we can definitely do another session. So this one we'll have to end because I mean the questions are just never ending. So
Yeah,
thank you so much, Mayur, for sparing us so much
yeah.
time and answering a
No,
lot of the questions that the viewers asked us. Yeah.
I'm very happy because of the way this session came off. I mean, so many perspectives, so many questions, and from the heart. Uh, and the regular ones like Karthik and everyone. I mean, thank you so much, Meena. I really want to say thanks because you remember me fondly, and you always feel that I could add some value to your session. I don't know why. I mean, my mom asks me sometimes, "What was the session on?" And I said it was on black magic. She got a little scared. She's like, "How do you know?" I said, "My past life." Because I don't know, Meena. I mean, I'm making a submission here. You think I
Yeah.
read a lot? I'm sorry, I don't. I absorb. Of course, I absorb. When I go to places like Varanasi, I'll sit there for an hour or
Mm,
two, just looking at the Ganges, and I do my
mm,
meditation. But Ane, when I talk
mm,
to you, these things come up, and uh, and I'm excited that I'll be coming back, and somebody wants me to talk about aliens. That
mm,
means it's going to be, yeah,
mm.
it'll be fun.
And for some of you asking us that whether he has his book in an ebook form, no, he doesn't have it as yet.
Yeah.
It's
Can
available
I?
on
Can I?
Amazon. So
Yeah. Hey, by the way, just because this topic has come, and I'm really honest to say, the feedback, if you go and check the reviews on Amazon, it's gone beyond 600 reviews. And
great.
you know what they're saying, Meena, is, and this is what I put at my guru's feet. They're saying that, like, somebody's read the book twice, reading it thrice. Somebody's like asking me persistently, when are you coming up with part two?
Mm,
Somebody's saying
mm,
thank you that I could actually want to now learn more about stotrams. मेरे
mm,
लिए वो बहुत important है मीना, that people are getting more interested in sadhus. And one of the best feedbacks I get is they're no more afraid of agoris. They now respect the agori sadhus more. And to all the viewers, please, two things. Please, if you can, join me on Instagram. It's at Mayur Kalbag. Just search, because there I do. Meena, you're there. You follow me as well. I follow you as well. I put a lot on stotrams and stuff, and I come live as well. So please follow me on Instagram. And right now, Meena, there's a 40% discount going on. Yeah, so make the best of it on my book on Amazon.
yeah,
So
yeah.
thanks for that. Love you
Good.
all.
Yeah.
And can I conclude with a prayer from my side?
Yes, please, please.
This is for the viewers who are seeing me for the first time. Is This is how I thank Meena, and thank all of you for being patient enough to give me the chance to share my thoughts. It's my way of saying thank you is by reciting a Sanskrit chant. Om. ॐ मौनव्ध्या प्रकटितः परब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानम् वर्सिष्ठान्ते वसत् ऋषिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दमूर्तिं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं गुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ ऐं श्रीं गुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we feel so good after a session with you, Mayur, as every time. So we did miss you the time when you went away.
I know.
So we look
I will.
forward to your next session.
I'll be there. I'll be there. And flower us with some new topics, at least me, because I love to. Sometimes I
Karthik
wonder.
says these sessions
Uh,
are like satsangs.
yeah, I know. We should have a Saturday satsang. So sat and sung. We come and we also sing. Maybe next
Yeah,
time you should allow me to sing a few lines, because
absolutely.
I've been practicing a few ways of singing something. So
Yeah.
you
Zara, he
you
usually
make me
comes
feel.
on Monday. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So let's hope that he'll come next Monday.
Yeah, I think I should. We should just fix up on a topic, maybe alien civilizations, but that we'll
Yeah,
discuss
we'll,
later, Meena.
yeah, we'll
All
do
right.
that.
Bye bye,
Good
Zara. Bye,
night.
everybody. Bye.
Good
See you.
night.
Take care.